Hello everyone! I thought I'd do a review here. This is my first kind of live music review of a liturgy gig that I went to in London at the Electrowerkz. Considering London is very far away from me, 12-hour bus journey, it wasn't particularly an enjoyable ride. So I really enjoyed the new album, the artwork, which has this really strong influence from electronic music and also medieval music from way back, but with a kind of an underlying black metal element, which is, you know, coming from their previous records. I figured, why not go and see them live? I'd love to see this music being performed in a live setting. I didn't really think that it'd be possible to do that with just the band themselves. So when I got there, I saw the support act, Liturgy. I wasn't quite sure the gender of this said performer. I was pretty sure it was a woman, but then she came on and started doing this kind of Antin Hegarty and Scott Walker amalgamation. It was very strange. There's kind of this really folky set with very androgynous vocals, obviously, as I've said before. I'm playing a 12-string guitar, and it was very pagan-y. There was a slight kind of Jeff Buckley influence hanging in the background there. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but it was very interesting. If you ever get a chance to see Liturgy, then by all means go, because it was a very captivating performance that she gave. The Liturgy arrived, and it was very peculiar. They started the set with Pagan Dawn, yet no screams. And I know that the new album doesn't have any screams in it. However, the vocals were completely omitted. It was just the instrumental. And also, as soon as it kicked in, I thought, my God, I should have brought earplugs, because it felt like my ear was being raped by a wall of sound. It was really overwhelming. After the next song, the volume was turned down, because clearly it was the case of, oh shit, it really shouldn't have been that loud. And then they go into more familiar territory with Vorizen off their new album, which is a song that I like. It sounded great. And then they played Follow, which was where things got interesting, because I really wanted to see how they'd be able to replicate the sound, the aesthetic that they have on the artwork on stage. Because on the album, the song is basically played with these little bells that play, and then in comes the guitars, and it's this huge, roaring, thunderous sound. And I was really interested as to how they would replicate this. And they did a pretty good job of it. I mean, they performed the bells on, you know, their guitars, obviously, because what else are you going to use? But it was at that point I realised just how brilliant the drummer is. I've admired the drumming on their albums for a while now, but when you see it live, I believe the drummer's called Greg Fox. And how they play off each other as well. When they were playing some of the songs, it was just like they were speeding up at the exact time, and they were completely in sync. Whilst they were doing different time signatures and different tempos, really something to behold. If you ever go and see Liturgy, for any reason, please let it be the musicianship. And the sheer brilliance of the drummer. I mean, his ability is just impeccable. He can play so fast, but have so many dynamics going on at the same time. You know, it's not just one constant blast beat throughout the entire thing, which is really commendable, really interesting to watch. Then afterwards there was Kel Valhaal, which doesn't really shift much. It's kind of the same thing throughout most of the song. I really enjoyed how it was presented live. It sounded really good. You could clearly hear the horns. I don't know if that was being played through the speakers or there was kind of like a sound effect on the guitars that made it sound like horns. But it sounded really brilliant and really big, exactly like it does on the album, which was so exciting as someone who loves the album so much. After that, we had Follow 2, which kind of really follows the pattern of the actual album, which was mainly kind of what they're following. Besides Father Vorizen, which comes on later on in the record, it was pretty much following the sequence of the album. But I mean, Follow 2 sounded amazing. The drumming, again, was just absolute perfection. And it was just like everything was falling into place. It was just so brilliant. They'd be pretty fucked if this drummer left. He clearly knows what he's doing. And again, the musicianship on this song, like the others, was truly a masterclass of musical performance. It really was. After that, you had a more kind of straightforward song with Quetzalcoatl. It was one of my favourites on the album. It was certainly one that translated well on stage. The symphony and the electronic drums sounded really boomy and just really in your face. That's pretty much what the album tries to do. It tries to be in your face. It really works. And after this, we had the first cut off their second album, Aesthetica. Great album, by the way, you should check it out. Where they played The Veins of God, which is this masterclass in musical performance and just demonstrates how extraordinary they are working together as a group. You really feel like they know each musician so well that they can play off them at any junction whatsoever. They can be playing anything and they'll join them and it will sound perfect. There's not many bands which can do that, and Liturgy seemed to be one of those groups. They're really tight. The way they play, it's really mind-blowing just how on point they are every single time. And I can't say any more about the song. Then the penultimate song, we had Rain Array, which is my favourite song on the album. They got rid of the kind of the Nintendo video game aesthetic that you heard at the beginning of it, and it just simply went right into the beginning of the song. It was an interesting way of doing it. I would have thought that they would play Halogen, the intro track that precedes Rain Array, along with the beginning of a Rain Array. But they didn't do that, which surprised me, but whatever. And the song sounded really vast, bold and beautiful. It was extraordinary. Again, to make a point about musicianship, it didn't sound like it did on the record. Like, the drummer was just thumping away at the drums, taking longer and longer, while everyone else was waiting for their cue to come in. And they were always on point. It was quite extraordinary how they didn't miss a beat. As I said before, if you ever go to see Liturgy for one reason, then that should be it. It really should, because the musicianship in this group is simply... It is really impressive. And then after that they played Generation from their second album, which was at the point where I thought, okay, this is a song with screaming in it, and he's not screaming. It's just an instrumental. I was really... I found it very bizarre that Hunter Hendricks, the singer by the way, wasn't screaming, as if he was kind of not necessarily embarrassed, but he didn't want to think about his past with black metal. And I found this quite peculiar. Throughout the whole song, there was no screaming. It was just the instrumental, as I've said before. I was perplexed by this. They went off, and then obviously there was an encore, as there always is. I was really, really, really hoping that they'd play Vitriol, because Vitriol is one of my favourite songs on the new album. And it kind of has this kind of rap vibe to it. But no, they played Returner off their second album, which is a song that I really like. However, this was when I realised, okay, he's really trying to forget about it completely. Because when he played the song, there were vocals, but they weren't screaming. They were the same vocals which feature on, well, all their albums, but on the artwork it features completely. There's no scream whatsoever. And instead of going, he was going, and it was very bizarre to watch. If that's what he wants to do, and he wants to completely eradicate any ties with black metal, his genre, which he is labelled as the next logical step forward for black metal, as he feels the genre is very stale and traditionalist. As a result, it really doesn't surprise me that he wants to push away from that and try and do something new and bold. Him and his band are one of the most interesting groups to come out of modern music. I'm really interested to see what their next move is, and if they continue with this sound that they have right now, because I really love the new album, and I really want to see what they have in store for us next. I mean, I'll wait another 4 years for a new Liturgy album. I don't mind that. As much as I love Aesthetica, I do think that the artwork has a slight edge over it, which a lot of people, probably no one agrees with that. However, I think that the artwork will be reevaluated in years to come and be kind of revered as the great album that I think it is, personally. So yeah, if any of you have seen Liturgy, then tell me about the experience in the comments section. I'm Henry Wheeler. I'll be posting more reviews as I go to more shows. See you later.